So when I say it's a choice, I've always maintained and I've always insisted that everyone in Ambazonia or in Cameroon has a right towards remaining with a slave master or towards jumping from one plantation of slave master to the other of the slave master, or to break up from the slave masters and say, hey, you want to be independent and free.
You know, so with the
now,
yeah.
You mentioned, I once said, everybody who will go Cameroon do. Listen, if you listen to my speech, and I've always referred people to go and listen to my speech, I have never, ever used the word kidnap. Never. I don't advocate for the kidnap of anyone.
Okay.
And I will not say people should go to Cameroon.
Let me I might just make this point.
No, let me finish.
If I get that video, I'll actually attach to this when I post.
Yes, if you can have that video, attach it.
Okay.
You will listen through that video. You will not hear the word kidnap. I said,
so if you know you
said people should pay for, and I will still insist right now, they should pay for their liberation tax. If you are going to Ambazonia.
No,
listen.
Yes.
Ambazonia, to me, it's a country. To you, may be part of Cameroon, which I agree.
Not part of Cameroon. It doesn't exist. There is Cameroon.
To you, may not exist.
Yeah, there is Cameroon.
I completely accept your views, and I'm tolerant towards your views. Reason why I see you like a brother to me. I'm here discussing, you know. That's how we should operate as human beings.
Yeah.
I would not accept that someone should go to Cameroon and be kidnapped. For what? Or to go to Ambazonia and be kidnapped for what?
That is the
But
basis.
I'm saying that just like Ukraine that we all support, I have seen members of parliament, I would say Congress in the United States, advocating for billions to be sent to Ukraine to finance its war against Russia's invasion. Why not for Ambazonia? You and me sitting in the diaspora who call ourselves Anglophones from a village that has been burned by the Cameroon military, why can't we support our grassroots to defend themselves, just like the United States saying Ukrainians should defend themselves, against Cameroon's aggression, against Ukraine's aggression or Russia's aggression? It's as simple as logic.
Now,
is it because it's the white man saying it?
When you talk about a Cameroon military burning down villages and all that,
we have that documented.
You have that documented. I don't have that, and I don't.
Oh, the Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International has published a whole long list of that, including more than 70 villages.
Can I finish what I'm saying? Do you agree with their report? And you agree with their report also that people from whatever you call it, Ambazonia or separatists has done, they've done worse than the Cameroon military, because that is what their report says.
Their reports, first of all, where are they coming from? They are all independent investigators. Human Rights Watch.
I don't even want us to go into that because it will take us a lot of time. I just wanted to say, so you agree with their report on that? That means we should agree with their report on every other thing: the Kumba massacre, the Manfred D's, the Libya, everything they've said about that. We should.
I would say I agree with the credibility. Yeah.
So, okay.
They're more credible than La Republique or Ambazonians.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want us to move to another topic. I would tell me 3 leaders, African leaders that you admired while growing up, or even right up to now.
The first, Robert Mugabe. He stood for his people. In thick and thin, he stood for his people. If you have read the history of Zimbabwe from Southern Rhodesia right up to the independence in 1979 through the Lancaster House Agreement with the willing buyer, willing seller policy, the first Chimurenga, second Chimurenga, and even the third Chimurenga in 2000, Robert Mugabe stood for his people. He gave his people the land, their ancestral heritage. He's my number 1 leader.
Second.
Number 2 leader, I would say Nelson Mandela before independence or prior to him being arrested. The Nelson Mandela, I would say the pre-prison Mandela, and there is also the post-prison Mandela. The Mandela before he was jailed was a perfect leader. I like people who stand for the people, regardless of the Western demonization and vilification.
You live in the West, bro.
Yes,
we cannot continue to
there
say
is hypocrisy in the West.
But we cannot continue to condemn them. Yet
no, we're not condemning the West. I mean, like, I appreciate...
Well, you use the word did you say
demonization. Like, they're demonizing a particular leader for a goal, for their own vested interest.
We continue to demonize them. We continue to call them demonizing people but then we leave and exploit their resources.
No, it's not because I am with you. I should be an honest friend to tell you that you've done wrong.
My brother, I understand. But that is the thing, that is the problem with us, you understand? If we only get out of play all day, if all we decide, you know what, we don't stay for the West because we don't realize that they manipulate our government.
No, you cannot do that.
Just go ahead with what you were saying.
Relations,
yeah, you were talking
the
about
global
Mandela.
politics now is all interdependent. If you read Interdependence Theory by Joseph Nye and Robert Keohane, it's all about interdependence. I depend on you for something, you depend on me for something.
Yeah, and that is the policies they are using to manipulate our people, right?
Well,
on this, Ivo, we can go about this argument from now to tomorrow. You understand? Now the policies and that they don't put that in place for continue manipulate we. Until we get to that place, because I'm one person that believes so much in trade by barter.
Yes.
I'm not a materialistic person. I believe in choma cocoa, I'm an oye, and I'm satisfied. And I feel like until Africa will get to that place where we don't need cars, we don't need phones, we're on picking them, like Tapang Ivo and all the rest, where they go school, they'll learn on their own, they develop these things.
Correct.
Until we stay independent, we can never get out of that ship of manipulation.
And the last person I would say that I really admire was Gaddafi of Libya. That is somebody who provided for his people. That is somebody whom, despite the word dictator being ascribed by the West, he provided for all Libyans. He gave them security, he gave them human security, he gave them social welfare. He even extended to the point where, you know, the Seed Declaration that wrote out what they call the African Union, or in future is going to be like you have the United States of Africa. It was Gaddafi. Gaddafi will be missed for the next 50 years in Africa. Those three people, Mugabe for his people, Mandela, the pre-prison Mandela for his people, Gaddafi for his people. We need leaders who protect the Amazonians or the Africans or the Cameroonians, or you put your people first.
What is your idea on Pan-Africanism?
Pan-Africanism.
By the way, what is your definition of Pan-Africanism?
Putting African first.
Putting African first. And what is your idea about Pan-Africanism?
My own idea is simple. If you're putting African first, you have to vie for our interest first. It's not about...
When you say our interest, what are you talking about?
The African interest. The resources all belong to us. Everything that we own should belong to us. It's not about chasing out the whites or chasing out the West or chasing out France or whatever. It's simply working with them to put the interests of Africans first while also benefiting them. A mutually beneficial cooperation. Just like China, I appreciate China for its win-win policy. I appreciate other countries that are not coming with neo-colonial tendencies in Africa for their win-win policies. I would appreciate an African leader who is not going to chase out the whites or chase out the West, but who is going to sit with them in an inclusive and mutually inclusive environment to discuss the interests of Africans for Africans and for the benefits of the global world in general.
So do you wish someday we'll get to a one Africa?
I have always advocated for that.
So why would you wish for one Africa where then you come to Cameroon, you want to split? Because we are looking forward to one Africa where Cameroon, we should be fighting for Cameroon and Nigeria to come together.
Even if Ambazonians split with Cameroonians, it doesn't mean that we're not going to help Cameroon with our oil. They have to run their own industry. No, but they have to help their own population.
Yes.
They have to help their own population.
Yes.
We are only saying that we want to be happy as a people. The fact that you and I were married, for example, we split up to go and live independent lives. It doesn't mean that if we had children in that relationship, we're not going to work together to help the children grow. Okay?
Yeah.
Ambazonians and Cameroonians are all separate entities. But we have intercultural, I would say, interdependent relationships. We have people along those communities that we need to help. If Ambazonia today, which you say is a virtually existing country, breaks up, we have the oil. Do you think Tapang Ivo, will not advocate for helping Cameroon with oil and running the industries?
I don't think you advocate for that because this is how I look at life, right? Ivo, I'll tell you, I don't follow you for a very long time. You have the potential to be what Etofis is what to Cameroon today, you understand? Along the line, I don't know how you just get into all this, and I don't know who they push you for you start calling yourself rebel leader. I don't know if that people start calling you rebel leader or...
A rebel is someone who is breaking up from the country.
I really wish you did not get to that place because I see so much potential in you. And personally, I feel like you can sit back, reflect, and make some changes. I think I saw your date of birth somewhere online, and you are a young person with potential. I can go on and on and on, and maybe even cry because I see a young man who has potential, and then I just feel like it go the wrong way.
Let me just jump a little bit, right? When you look at other Cameroonians, or let me use the word Cameroonians, they have so much potential. I would say much in terms of you cannot quantify it.
Yes.
So much potential than me. I'm just one example in the millions of people that Cameroon has frustrated, or the Cameroon government has frustrated, and they will continue to frustrate. You need that person who is going to stand out and call Cameroon to order. What you're seeing right now is just the immediate. In the long run, you'll come looking for Tapang Ivo. Tapang may not be alive.
No, Tapang, I understand all of that, you understand? In as much as even in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you guys can realize the dream, which is something I don't wish, you understand? But for me, I look at the collateral damages, as you don't put them, you understand? I look at that picking the way they be get a future, and because of dispute, I don't want to even say that this man do or that man do, but me and you know, you understand? Me, I only look at us in...
Look, in the Bible itself, right? I always like to refer to the Bible because I read the
I don't
Bible.
even think it's a good thing to always refer to the Bible because we get so many traditions, we get so many cultures.
Well, even if you look at the traditions and the cultures, our grandfathers fought wars. There was a Banso resistance, there was the Bafo resistance, there was the Bakwere resistance.
Yes.
If they did not resist and told the children that, hey, within this period of time or to an endless period of time, we'll fight for something that will come. Listen, all the funchers, they are not here today to witness and to get some fruit of their labor.
Ivo.
I'm not fighting for myself.
Ivo, and
when you say Ivo has potentials, yes, my potentials are not for myself.
Ivo.
I'm fighting for the future unborn generation.
Ivo, and
I'm a sacrificial lamb for people who have not been born.
Ivo, and if they will know, would miss a lot, you understand? I need the dynamo no fight, you understand? But more fight under something where it be genuine, something that was handed down to us by our forefathers, not over something that was handed down to us by colonial masters, people who came to divide us, people who came and imposed boundaries on us. You understand? You talked about the backward resistance, this is a group of people. You understand? And this group of people they see exist, the Sawa that they exist, the grass field, they this. I have so much respect and so much. That is culture. That is who I am. You understand? I don't like when we fight over we be Anglophones. Those people are Francophones. Will be this because I understand the foundation of these boundaries. And guess what? Every time we start to fight, every time we continue to fight, we only tell that person will be impose that boundary. Say their strategy. It be work and it still work.
Okay, guess what? Let me just give an example. During the consortium days, Mark and Tapang were fighting for two-state federation, which means Anglophones, or what I call Ambazonians, will be one state, and the other side will be another state. There's nothing different between the two-state federation and what we're fighting for now, if not for the change of names. What we call Anglophones right now is called Ambazonia, and maybe the
it's called Southern Cameroon, no?
Yeah, maybe Southern Cameroons. You may want to call it that way, the former British Southern Cameroons, or you can call it the way of our modus operandi, our modus vivendi, our way of operation has changed. You now see people holding guns instead of peace plans because they have to defend themselves. In the United States, you have a gun, maybe. You have the First Amendment rights, you have the Second Amendment rights, you have the right to freedom of speech and the right to carry your guns. Likewise, in Ambazonia, or Southern Cameroons, or the former British Southern Cameroons, people have the right to defend themselves. A thief walks into my house, I have the right to defend myself. I have the right to defend my community.
Are you saying, because that is what we're facing right now.
Yes.
We don't start see a group of people, communities, small communities, and they even defend themselves against the people in the tribal call, the separatists. Are you saying that it's okay?
No, it's not okay. Okay.
It is not okay for the people to defend themselves against separatists.
No, what do you mean by defend themselves? I mean,
So for instance, right, we have Nosso, which is the English-speaking part of the country. And the whole idea for they, according to na separation, you understand? So if a group of people like my people, like the Oroko people, they stand up and they say, no, we don't want this, and we will raise up arms against them, do you think that is okay?
To me, it's perfectly okay.
Okay.
Very okay.
Okay.
I see that happening, I would encourage it. But I've not seen that happening.
Maybe no, it's happening already.
Oh, really? Where?
I will no one go into details.
No, because
we don't get instances where people catch these guys and give them for.
No, yeah, I mean, like,
so that's what I'm saying.
I completely agree. You see, this is where you and I are agreeing right now. I am somebody who advocates that people should have the freedom in terms of where they want to live, how they want to live, their self-determination.
So why
rights.
would they call people black legs?
Listen,
when they decide to, we don't want this ideology.
Don't you think in every 12 there is a Judah? Don't you think so?
So it means.
Don't you think in every 12
technically,
there's a
what
Judah?
you're telling me is when it comes to Cameroon, now we be the Judah.
Don't you think we have internal?
I'm just asking.
I mean, like, let's be honest.
Yes.
Don't you think even your family? Don't you think you have even like your broad relationship family?
I need to deny. More use your way of reasoning,
so
right?
we have black legs even in the community.
I don't deny. We mean say when it comes to Cameroon, now we the Anglophone person be black leg now. So you mean?
Why not? Are we so special?
Oh, that is so disrespectful, my brother.
No, we have black legs in our community.
No, we were the black legs. We the Anglophones were the black legs.
No,
that's
we the Anglophones how? I mean, I'm saying that there are specific black legs in the community of Anglophones. Not we Anglophones are all black legs. No. No.
We can go on and on.
Yeah. I'm saying, okay, look at it this way. We have a whole broad spectrum of Anglophones. But inside the broad spectrum, we have some black legs, some people who are siding with the Cameroon government to pinpoint and to nail down the Ambazonians from expressing their freedom of expression, freedom of liberty, having the right to self-determination, which are all enshrined in human rights.
And you as an intellect, you feel like that is very, very okay to pick out a few and call them black and give them names, black legs, and then condemn them in public and then execute them in public.
I don't stand for the execution.
If you stand for the name
I mean, like, for heaven's sake, I've always said this in multiple videos and photos and even speeches on VOA. I don't stand for the execution of people.
Okay, I'll ask you one question.
I don't stand for the execution of people.
Ayabacho is somebody, I think you serve under him or some also.
Ayabacho works for the AGOVC. I serve under the ADF, the Ambazonia Defense Forces.
It's two different.
They are two different structures.
I don't really know. Yeah. I just know CED and I feel say you used to maybe because
they're sisters. Yeah, sisters, and I would say sister bodies.
Okay, sister bodies. And he advocated for. I watched the video where he was talking about Bala. And he said, oh, he regret why Tawibi gets his hand on Bala.
Yeah.
And we put Bala ahead for plates.
I watched that video too. Yeah, I watched the video. I mean, like, I have my personal opinions about issues when it comes to Ambazonia.
What did Bala really do wrong with that man?
On that note, I may disagree on a policy standpoint with Ayabacho Lucas. Get my point clearly. People have the right to freedom of expression. I don't really mind if Pobia says Cameroon is one and indivisible. That's his point. But he should not also bother me when I say Cameroon is not one and indivisible.
Which is
you get
what
it?
We all
so Ayabacho said he wants to put Bala's head on a plate or whatever. That's his point. But for me, I will say no. I mean, I'm not into that. I mean, I have other working strategies with Bala that I think we can still reach a common goal without necessarily putting someone's plate on the table, which sounds so brutal to even hear about it. Yeah.
Bro, no man need dispute whatever opinion some people then get about separation or whatever, you understand? The majority of people I've talked to, because that's the reason why if you look at the whole idea when it started, everyone was behind it.
Yes.
Along the way, so many people don't branch out.
Why?
That's what I'm saying.
Why?
Because of the ideas they want to start bringing up.
Wrong.
Can I finish? This is just my opinion. Along the way, because guess what?
Let me tell you why.
No. Before you go to tell me why, right? Ivo, tell me one person where you don't move from advocating for one Cameroon to becoming and a separatist until advocate online or wherever.
I am the one.
No, from day one, I need to talk about people like you. I'm talking somebody that's new, somebody that moved with everything, and then along the way, he was there for Cameroon.
Yeah.
And then at one point in time, they decided, you know what, I feel like, okay, this whole Cameroon thing, I want to move to the other side. Tell me one person.
We have Yannick Sikot.
Which Yannick Sikot?
Yannick Sikot in Los Angeles. You don't know this guy?
No, Yannick Sikot, he used to advocate for Amazonia.
No, he used to advocate for One Cameroon. Then I am the one who even brought him to the Ambazonia thing. I had a group of activists. No, so now he has gone back to One Cameroon. He was even in Buea too.
And that is what I'm saying, you understand? And he talk about Persiweno from the beginning, right? He don't be for Cameroon, and now he don't move completely for Ambazonia. Like,
go back to Cameroon, right?
No, move, not go back to Cameroon physically. Like now, your idea in Ambazonia.
Well, we have me, we have a host of others. Even Mark Barretta himself. Look, maybe you started following me just recently. I have been the biggest. I started working with CRTV. I worked for the United Nations while in Cameroon. I've been the biggest supporter, the biggest of Cameroon, of One Cameroons. I was the last leader. It's on history, and it's in history books. I was the last Ambazonian to have transitioned from One Cameroon to the Ambazonian frame. When I transitioned, it was done. That was the only person who was willing. Listen, let me give you one point. Ambazonians or people are frustrated right now, or some people who are transitioning back to Cameroon are frustrated right now. I understand the frustration.
So many
it's
people.
Because some of us, I will not even include myself in it, but I will say some of us, misled them thinking that they were going to have the independence now. This thing is new to the people of... Get the history clear. When is the last time Cameroon was ever at war and the people had a civil war to even think about? It was like decades ago. We were not born. This thing is really and relatively new to us that we don't want to protract it. We don't want to make it so long. Once it becomes so long, it becomes tiring and people want to go back.
Yeah, and so that's the reason why you...
That's the main reason. But imagine in the era of Tapang and Mark, people had the country called Ambazonia. Should we have been speaking about this today?
No, it was not.
It should have been done and dusted.
It was not even possible.
I keep telling people.
It was not.
Let me just end.
Yes.
I keep telling people that this Ambazonia thing would take at least 30 years. It's not going to be now. The distance between Egypt and Israel was only less than 200 miles. But it took Moses more than 40 years for his people to transition.
You continue to go to you make so many Bible references. I'm a Christian, but I don't like that because we live in a country where you have so many religions, you understand?
I agree.
If you only go talking about in the Bible, I don't know about my Muslim person, I don't know about some person who in atheists, and so when you talk about, I just be like, okay, I know I'm a Christian, but I want to give any man opportunity for experience. So, the man did laugh. Okay, more assume. Say this whole thing will fail. 2 states or 10 states or 1 Cameroon.
Why will it fail?
No, I say more assume.
I don't get that kind of assumption because when I want to fight for something, I don't fight with the assumptions. I fight with a conviction.
We'll take some more break. We'll come back. I will ask you a question the way people don't send them for me.
All right.
Sincerely, right, when this whole thing started at the level of Bala and the other guys, even me, I've been in support. Even when you and Mark, when I take over, I think for that beginning, I've been in support until when they start advocating for school boycott and whatever. That was when I was like, okay, this is wrong. For you, when you think, say, this whole thing was just, it went off?
There are 3 strategies that Bala had. Bala and all the lawyers and teachers, they had the boycotts, ghost towns, and civil disobedience. Listen, boycotts in terms of, hey, anything, National Day celebrations, 20th May, let's boycott. Civil disobedience means that, hey, you know what? Anything that Cameroon thinks that they want to do or they want to impose, we are disobedient. Ghost towns, that we're implementing a strategy that would control our own people in a game theoretic approach. And those were the 3 governing strategies of these lawyers and teachers. We controlled these strategies, Mark and Tapang Ivo. Now, when things morphed, when things metamorphosed, when things changed to the pendulum of politics, where you had Tasang, who is responsible for all these cacophony in Ambazonia's revolution today, Sisiku Ayoktabe, and the host of all other Ambazonians, fake politicians who call themselves governments, exploiting the Ambazonia revolution for their own personal interests, all in jail right now, and some of them still roaming the streets of Maryland and Texas. Guess what? That is when people became disenfranchised. They became so angry with the entire thing. And I don't blame them. I, Tapang Ivo, if I were the one, I would go back to Cameroon. But guess what? There were other opportunities where I could still lay my head and be comfortable with. For example, the Ambazonia Defense Forces. I'm a person who advocates for self-defense. But guess what? Majority of the people became very angry with the political nature of the Ambazonia conflict that they started joining Cameroon. Or they say, hey, Dansema join SACO. I better go join CPDM. Because there's no difference between SACO and CPDM. CPDM operates on the ground, SACO operates in the diaspora. Why should I not go and enjoy my privileges from the ground? Do you blame them? I don't blame them. They are kudos. Go join them. Why should I come and join Christopher Anu, whereas we have SDF and CPDM? Let me go and join there. Do you blame them? You don't blame them. You cannot run politics, a government in a revolution. Just like you said, there is no Ambazonia existing, which I completely agree with you. That's your rational point of view. So if there is no country existing, why are you forming a government? The first point towards liberating slaves is not to make a government out of the slaves. It's to liberate the slaves first. Once it's done, then you can now form a government.
Stop calling our people slaves?
I'm sorry to use the word slaves. I'm sorry to use the word slaves, but I will still say this. I still go back to the Bible. I'm sorry. Moses took the people out of Egypt. He did not form a government like the president is Moses. It was Aaron who even led them into the promised land. But guess what? When he went there, that is when they started forming the Israel Empire or whatever you call the governments and the rest. You have to liberate your people before even forming some kind of a government. People are angry with the Ambazonia revolution because we introduced politics. And politics is divisive and very dangerous for human cohesion.
What do you think is the way forward?
The way forward is simple. I like us to draw the line on respect and tolerance. Cameroon tried its best when it came up with a fake, shambolic national dialogue thing. I call it fake and shambolic because it's fake in terms of non-inclusivity.
Let me just, if Cameroon government wants you to sit down with them for Cameroon, you go.
I'm ready to talk, but not in Cameroon. On a neutral ground.
Continue.
So it's fake because it was non-inclusive, and also shambolic because it ended up on a platter of failure. The best way forward, this is the most complicated conflict I have read in all journals or all international political spheres or even conferences. The most complicated I know is the Ambazonia-Cameroon conflict. It's complicated because there's no way you can solve it. You want to solve it by giving Anglophones power? Think about it on the side of the Francophones. It's impossible. Joseph Lay once said, than for SDF to ever get the presidency over the dead.
No, that was in the old.
I mean, like that was in the old.
Yeah.
Do you think Francophones will ever let you, an Anglophone?
It's possible.
It's possible in your dreams. Second,
if you say it's possible, that's my opinion. So the same way I can say Ambazonia is possible in your dreams.
Let's even put it simple. How many ministers are Anglophones right now in your country?
Just two. Let me finish what I'm saying, right? Let me finish what I'm saying, right?
In 57 or 58, just two.
It doesn't matter. The most important thing, right? If you listen to me, right, from when we start talking about this whole thing, I never ever talk about relying on Cameroon You understand? Like Cameroon government, not Cameroon as a country. You understand? I never ever talk about.
So what is the solution then?
So for me, no. I know I'm not. I don't talk about. I know. And if you talk about a solution, I bring you here as somebody where I know say if he actually says some certain things away, if he move our
So
community.
let me give you my solution. My solution is simple. One, inclusivity. If you're very inclusive and you prove that you're inclusive, irrespective of our differences, if you prove it, you win the hearts. Number two, respect. If you prove that you respect the people who are fighting against you, or who are rising up in arms or in peace plans against you, you would earn their respect. You have to be tolerant towards their own approaches. Those three, inclusivity, respect of the people, and tolerance, bring them on a neutral platform, and we'll dialogue a way forward.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you think you guys have this on your own table when it comes to Anglophones and Anglophones, those you call blacklegs, and those of you who consider themselves leaders?
When you talk about, you've used this word blacklegs like multiple times.
Yes.
But guess what? You're talking about a microcosm. Less than 0.001.
But guess what? You just talked about inclusiveness.
But we have, listen, we have the main leaders of Ambazonia who are ready, who are representing the masses. They are representing the black legs. So do you want to name the black legs?
I cannot name them, but guess what?
I don't know them.
You talk about inclusiveness, you talk about tolerance, and what else?
Respect.
Respect, you understand? So are you saying if we have 4 people who are not respectful or who, let's just call them blacklegs, right? What we are supposed to do is kick them out or look for a way.
No, I mean, no. If I get your point,
because guess what?
Leaders represent the people, correct?
Yes.
You need to have a representative body. If you have just one, let's say Ayabacho, for example, you bring him to the table. Pick another one, Carson Anyangwe, for example, bring him to the table. Tapang Ivo, bring him to the table.
But if it's a layman, a truck pusher, or an Okada person,
it doesn't really matter. You can bring them to the table. If you have someone, I don't really care about. That's why, okay, look at the consortium, how the consortium was constructed. The consortium is a civil society organization where you had about 13 organizations. Association of Truck Drivers, someone representing all truck drivers. Association of Bayam Selams, representing all Bayam Selams. You just pick one, bring them to the table and let's talk.
And which is something I agree with you, you understand? But guess what? The way this whole struggle thing to go right now, the people, the masses, especially those back home, they don't even get play with if you go stand and say, okay, now our own voices. You understand?
Which comes to my point. Guess what? I've said respect.
And that's what
I'm tolerate them. If Cameroon truly wants to end this thing, I'm telling you, if Cameroon goes to war with Ambazonia, they will never win. I swear to God. Don't take the name of the Lord your God in vain. This is not in vain.
Stop for the
no, listen. I swear. Look, Cameroon cannot win this thing militarily. Never. Trust me. For the last 5 years, have they succeeded? No.
No.
They've not succeeded. But trust me, if you go diplomatically, Cameroon could win. If you go diplomatically, Cameroon could win. We win.
Ivo, not a misconception that will get them. Cameroon never fight. Cameroon fight war with any person.
But Pombia declared war on the 17th of March 2017.
No, my brother.
On the 17th of March.
My brother mono play politics. The same way would take whatever you said about people where they go back home. Me, I actually used the word kidnap, which was not the word you used. You understand? We just take your idea and attach them to the word kidnap, which is very, very wrong. You understand? Now, the same way Bia said something and then would take an out of context. You understand? The people don't play that game and don't expect some smart person like you for continue for doing, because guess what? Now, the thing that they make people be fed up about this whole thing. Because if some man to go look and I be like, but wait, probably I not actually touch this, so I declare war. You understand? The same way you never said kidnap. But we take the whole thing for me and say, now change that what you mean.
Okay. Let me come back this way. Even if Paul Biya has not declared a full war against the people of Ambazonia.
He never declared war,
even if he doesn't declare it, and even if he declares it, there's not going to be any much difference on the ground.
Okay.
Because let me be honest. We don't wish for bloodshed. We wish for peace. We wish for more inclusivity in the way we dialogue, we talk about. We wish for positive peace, peace that will not relapse into conflicts and decades of conflicts. What is the strategy here? The strategy is very simple. Man, bring all of us together. Is that so difficult for Cameroon to talk about? Why would they organize a whole national dialogue? And they are bringing some fake people like Yannick Kawakawa who have never even been in the realms. Let's be honest. It's as simple. Use your platform. It's as simple as possible. Take us to a neutral party. A neutral ground. It could be Ethiopia. It could be Kenya. It could be. But name it.
One time there was supposed to be something was supposed to happen in Belgium, and you guys went in there, attacked the guys, embarrassed the minister.
Let me explain.
If I say you guys, I don't mean you.
Let me explain something. What Cameroon does is an external strategy of fighting an enemy, and that was played against me in the United States, and I won them in court. If I am a Cameroon government official, I want to fight against Ambazonians. It's as easy as ABC. I have the strategy. Guess what? I would identify 1 or 2 people in Ambazonia that are fighting against their own fellow brothers, call them to the dialogue table, pretend as if there is a dialogue going on, and I say, hey, announce it. Oh, there is a dialogue going on here, so that Ambazonians keep knocking their heads together. Like what happened in Switzerland, what happened in Belgium, what is happening in Canada. Let Ambazonians knock their heads together, get confused, why I'm winning on the ground. It's a winnable strategy.
Oh, so you mean they already applied that winnable strategy? We'll go for questions if people don't ask them. Yeah, that's what you're actually saying.
No, man, it's a winnable strategy. So people have to be wise. I mean, I want genuine dialogue. Like, let Buea announce it, and let him, as a leader of the country, be the one to lead it.
Impossibility, man. That guy is too old to even get into all those stuff.
Yeah.